Hey guys, welcome to my channel. I'm Greg. I'm going to go over the cryptocurrency market and GBTC and let you know what I'm looking at with Grayscale Bitcoin Trust here and the pattern that I potentially believe it's going through. I said potentially. I didn't say that it will because markets can change fast. And that's the whole thing, guys, is that sometimes the markets you may have to pivot. Now, I've been posting some data and information on Twitter about these smaller cap cryptos. And I want to reiterate that most of your holdings should be in Bitcoin. So Bitcoin rolls back over and it gets down to 24, 25,000. I would probably grab that. I wouldn't hesitate. I would not be passive. I would grab it, boom, get it, and get ready for that run if it happens to do that. Might have missed it. Don't know yet. But the smaller ones is, you want to have a strategy with that because some of those coins, like, I see throughout like a lot of it in crypto where you you want to stay away from them, keep everything in Bitcoin, and you can roll it over into Ethereum, et cetera, et cetera. That is probably the safest strategy. Definitely, you want to go with something like that. However, some of those coins, like you will not, like they'll be down now, they'll be down so far. Let's say one's at 1 cent. And by the time you get around to rolling around to it, maybe that coin is at 8 cents. And that could be the difference between a 10x and a 20x or a 10x and a 40x. Okay. So just carefully plan that. Realize too that part of your plan is not going to go according to plan, So like if you plan on getting, say, let's say as an example, Bitcoin is going to go up to, let's say 55,000. Okay. And you have a plan to get, let's say a 20x on some coins. Have a plan in your head that what happens if it doesn't do that. Okay. Like it's only 5x or 10x. Okay. So as an example, something like that, guys, you really, really have to think this through. So you're not caught off guard. Okay. So that's why, like, if previous videos that I had, guys, is like, okay, Bitcoin does this, I'm going to do that. If Bitcoin does this, then I'm going to do that. Okay. So sometimes it works, goes according to plan, and a lot of the times it doesn't. So that's how I look at it. Here's GBTC, guys. GBTC is looking really strong. I'm going over this because I think it's a really good leading indicator for Bitcoin at the moment of the direction or trajectory of Bitcoin. And I'm going to go over and show you some things that there's a good shot that I think that GBTC is going up to make this move. I don't think there's going to be, not at least in this wave that we have potentially coming up, either through maybe the rest of the year or going into 2024. I don't think there's going to be a parabolic move like some people are claiming. I don't think there's going to be a dump to 10K. Normally what happens, guys, with these assets is you have the bulls and you have the bears, and the truth is somewhere in between, which of course is not going to get the most views. However, those are the individuals that make the most money usually. So not the ones that are exceptionally greedy at the top and being greedy all the way down. So that's usually how that happens, guys, that I've noticed. So the boring, more dispelling of realistic targets and truth and stuff like that. Even though I like to hype it up a little bit, I think there's a potential that there's going to be probably sometime in this year again, it's probably going to be a pretty decent smoke show in the cryptocurrency market. It's really, really interesting right now. The NASDAQ is probably going to be going into a correction, going down a little bit. And you could take a look at the NASDAQ, just throw on your moving averages is probably going to come down, hit the 21 and go hit the 40. So in a correction for a while, and potentially even Bitcoin's going to be trending up at that during that time, which would be great because, the theory is that, hey, if it goes up, then Bitcoin goes up. They all go together, but sometimes they get out of sync, obviously, like they've been doing lately. So here's the Grayscale, and it's given really, really good signals. Okay. It broke the top right there. It went up to 1865, which is a really good signal. I have signals that's going to go up to and penetrate this 200 moving average that I had here. Simple moving average. I use simple moving averages, guys, not exponential moving averages. And you can see this gap right here that it came in and it filled that gap. And there is another gap sitting right there at about 22 to 24. And it's right above that moving average. So I think there's really good shot that it's going to, after it's finished here, correct, it's going to go up and fill this gap. Okay. How is it going to make a move up there? We'll have to see. But I think ultimately the targets I have is going to be between the 38-ish and then maybe a touch up to the upper trend up there, guys, is what I'm looking at. So this structure right here, so I'm going to go over this and I'm going to show you why I think that there's going to be a move up here and then it's going to be a significant downturn after that. So which means Bitcoin's going to make a move up wherever it will end up. It might be 48K, it might be 55K, and maybe a blast past up to 72 or something like that. I do have fib targets going that high with just a potential up in that area. But once it gets up there, I think it's going to be a significant correction for both Bitcoin and GBTC here, guys, going down just like that. Okay. Now, the reason I'm using GBTC2 right now is because it's actually not only is it a leading indicator, it's because this is really a little bit easier to track at the moment of what it's doing on the uptrend. Going down was a pain, and this way it's going a little bit, if you will, a little bit better to track it and to get targets on it than it is with Bitcoin. Okay, so Bitcoin can change drastically, guys. Like, there's targets there that I have at 34, 35, 41, 42, 48, I believe. And there's 55, 61, and 72. It can be any of those. Just don't know. I just don't know, guys. So planning for what the market is going to do can be very, very difficult, guys, especially in times like now. But here's what I wanted to do and show you a few things is that this wave that it made, this 5-wave move and corrected over here, is very, very eerily similar to this move over here. Okay, it's just not as aggressive. And if you can see the moving averages, this is the 40 that it came down. It didn't touch it. You can see over here, the 40, it wicked through it and it got out of there. So I'm kind of looking for a pretty aggressive move potentially over the next maybe month or two, 3 months, something like that for GBTC. Okay, just got to see how this plays out. But one of the things is you can check the retracement and the targets on something like this. So you can see if I take this whole leg on GBTC over here, it hit 382. You take it and you put it on linear, and that leg, it hit the 50%. It's actually 0.5. Is that 0.55? Now it's 50% on the nose right there, okay? So if I come over here and do an exact retracement on this leg to the top, this is the top, not that one. As you can see right there again, it tagged 50% on the nose, just like it did over here, okay? So moving averages, the same. You see the 40s there. There's the 40 right there. So there's a good shot that this is very similar in nature over this leg to this leg, okay? So let me check this out on logarithmic. Now, as far as somewhat of a target, this is to me the whole leg, and then it went up right here. So it's a 5-wave move, pretty aggressive move after what was that, September of 20 right there. And if I take a fib extension, you can see I'm going to do a fib extension and go all the way down to the bottom of that area that it hit. And you can see it's 1.618 on the nose. Logarithmic, okay? So normally you want to check both just to get an idea, okay? And also depends on the time frames, but I check both logarithmic and linear. But on a weekly chart, you'll see that some instances it's not going to work out too well, especially for assets that move as aggressively as GBTC does, okay? So we see a leg here, a 1, 2, 3, 4, and then at 1.618 for 5. So if I come over here, I go, okay, well, let me check this out and put a little leg on there, or a Fibonacci extension. You can see that pretty much the 1.618 is the general area that I have for a target zone for GBTC, okay? Anywhere in this area. So those numbers I was looking at with the gaps, this target up here, there's a supply zone. This is a massive supply zone. I think it's on the monthly chart. That's why I have that there. And then definitely the 1-to-1, this area, and then this area, and then this area. And then I think, anywhere near the top of that trend that it's on, will be this fifth wave or the ending wave for this pattern that GBTC is in. I've explained before how this is a typical pattern of a leading wedge or a beginning wedge, like so. As I say right here, this impulsive move, very aggressive impulsive move, typical goes up to the top, three-way move down, three-way move up here, another move back down over here, and then we have potentially probably another either three-wave or maybe it's going to do a five-wave. So in these leading wedges, this type of pattern where it's a leading, they can be either impulsive or they can be like maybe like a three-wave, like right here, kind of like that, okay? They go either or. They can do either or in that situation, guy, according to the rules. So that's how I'm looking at that. So if that's going to be the case and it's going to end up here, so that's what I'm going to expect for Bitcoin, guys. And that's kind of what I have as a tentative plan in this area, okay? So I don't know how long that's going to take. I do have a tentative plan. It could last all the way out to July of 24 for it to get up there, which if you think about this, this could go against the narrative of the 4-year cycle, okay? So if this is going to make a move and it's here, back down, and it finally gets up there, maybe back down like this, and let's say it's June or July of 24 and it's going into a pretty significant correction, I mean, if it's going to whiz back out there into another wave, maybe that would go with the 4-year cycle theory. Okay, so that's how I'm looking at that, guys. I just this is not set up to be making massive moves like people think, you know, like over here. So this is, it made a move like that. So when Bitcoin went up to 65K, came back down, Bitcoin went to 69K, and then this section over here is not going to go as high as people think. I don't think so. If this is a wave 1, 2, look at your fib numbers. Be realistic. I mean, if you want to pull an extreme, you could say a 2.618, but it didn't do it there. It could have done it over here in some form or another, possibly, but it didn't do it here. So the odds are it's 1.618 would be the target. I mean, you could go out there and put 2.618, but I mean, I wouldn't do that, guys. So what I'm going to do is just go over Bitcoin, and it would be probably about the same area I'd be looking at for Bitcoin, guys. Dragging this out for maybe a little bit longer in this area. And the targets that I actually expecting Bitcoin to go up a little bit more going into the end of June timeframe, up to 32, maybe even 34K. Can't see it in this chart, but I think that it's like in a fourth wave correction coming back down and one more push up to get to those areas. I have 32, and you might see it peek its head up to 34 or something in that area. Bitcoin is set up for the same deal right here. And if this is the start of a cycle right here, and this is 1, 2, then you can get your fib targets just like you did over here on GBTC as the same deal. So I'll take this wave. So like here's a 1 and take this all the way back down to that 2. Here's your hit the third wave at 1.618, and then the fifth went up above, just above it a little bit in this area. It's actually ended right there at that target of 54,000, 55,000. We'll say that's what that is. So this went 1.618, and this wave is much smaller than that wave. This wave went up 300%. This wave went up 100%. So it's very simple, in my opinion. If this is a 1, 2, don't know yet, but just assume right now, if that's a 1, 2, you could just take your wave and get your logarithmic fib targets and say, let's say, just right in that area. You know, it does go pretty high. 1.618 is 70K, which is right in the zone area that I have for potential targets for Bitcoin. Now, for this to get even higher, this is going to have to be some type of, could you say this is 1, 2, 1, 2? You could. I don't like that. This wave's a little bit too big, but it could do a move where you really have to see it do 1, 2, and then it goes up for another one like this, and maybe another 2 like that. And then maybe you can get a 3 of 3 out of there, guys, or something like that in that area is potential. But, you know, we're just not going to know, or I'm not going to know until it's all played out a little bit better in that section, guys, to see what's going on. But other than that, if that's a 1, 2, or it could be an ABC. The ABC move would be a 1-to-1, which is still hitting like a 48 to 50K. The C wave can go as strong and as far as a third wave of 1.618. So just not going to know for the time being, but that's what I'm looking at. And do I think it can break all-time highs this year? I think there's a possibility. Do I think it's probable? I don't think it's probable. I would be willing to say if it's going to be making a move, this move for this leg over here, I would be more willing to say it would go into 2024 personally, not this year. But hey, it is Bitcoin. It can move quick. So that's how I'm looking at it for Bitcoin. The other coin I wanted to go over, been digging into it a little bit more, is Crust Network. So Crust Network, it has a questionable chart in my opinion. You know, it did break the previous lows, but I've been checking it out, and it seems to be, it's like really kind of integrated a lot with Polkadot ecosystem. You can get it on Fearless, put it on your Fearless wallet, and it's got it's in the storage side of it. There's a lot of sites that are using it, or ecosystems that are using their technology, Aave, Polkadot, Uniswap. You come down now and see who else is using it. Is I think I had some other. Oh, here we go. All these other coins, which are it seems like a lot of them are from the Polkadot ecosystem. Some of these I don't know what they are. Ethereum, Polkadot, Aptos, Elrond, Solana, Near Protocol, Binance Smart Chain, Flow. These Moonbeam, Akala are using Crust Network. So they're definitely onto something here. And, just checking some things out, the chart, and then the interest that's coming in to Crust Network down here on the weekly candles. Down here, you can see in the weekly volume candles, you have some interest that came in, and then you're starting to get a little bit more interest all through there too, guys. So that is very, very interesting to me, that this is probably going to be doing pretty good little moves. So the other thing that's really, really cool, let me stay on the weekly chart with Crust Network, is it already hit this area. So you see this for Crust Network. It came through there. If it goes into another wave, it's going to bust past through that. It's going to have resistance at $3. Okay. I'll be right through there at $3. And then the other areas I would be checking it out is certainly in this area right here, just like that. Okay. So there'll be a supply zone right there. And then this is the one, actually, I think, depending on how bullish cryptocurrency gets, would definitely be a target zone. So you have this hit its head. It'll be stuck in there potentially. Get over that. It'll have a little bit of resistance in that area, okay? For definitely a supply hit right there for Crust Network, okay? And then boom, boom. And then you're looking at some pretty serious numbers here, guys. Like, you start looking at 23, some serious numbers there that is potential. And this asset has already been at 149 or $145 in that area. And for a move to 23, 25-ish, 29 or 30 is not unreasonable to think that this could do that. Not saying it could go up to all-time highs again in this run. Don't expect that. But somewhere in this area, okay, worst case scenario, you get a hit to there, a 3x. A decent case scenario, you're looking at an 8 to 10x, okay, potentially. But if this decides to something change and something happens that's very bullish in the crypto market, Bitcoin, maybe, BlackRock is going to, have all their clients be buying more Bitcoin or something like that, then you start looking at some serious moves right there. Like this goes from, 8 to 10x, now to 30, 40, and 50. So this one, based on the chart, based on the fundamentals, and also two is the circulating supply is 28. It's at 23, limited there. It's fully diluted valuation at 23, and its market cap at 19. To me, between all of that for this, where am I? Go back to Crust. the risk to reward ratio is pretty darn good based on all that. Okay. Now, I haven't looked through it too thoroughly. Maybe there's something that I'm missing. I'm not in it yet, but I'm definitely going to be like, wait a second, I'm getting into CSM. Let me check the daddy out, right? So Crust Shadow, which is the canary network of that. You have CRU and then CSM, which is the canary network of this. And to me, it just seems like the risk to reward, like not many people are talking about this coin. And it's also concerning too. So what's the negative? The negative is that it came out in September of 20 and did this massive pump, came back all the way down over here for a massive dump. And so technically it'd be like old coin, but I think they're keeping up with the technology. Look at that, a 99% drop. So they appear to be keeping up with the technology and not falling by the wayside, which some of the other coins could be doing, guys, in my opinion. But this one right here, not in it yet, but I think it's in a consolidation area. I don't think it's going to drop too much farther. This is a massive demand zone, and it's going to be collecting it up in here to make another run into this section. And like I said, guys, just a minor just like swing on this coin. And let's say it goes all the way down to 64 cents. You're looking at a $3, you're looking at just a minor swing for your risk of, let's say 62, you have a risk right down here of 20% loss, 20% loss for a 3 to 4x, as being conservative, as being conservative. Okay. But if the market turns around, and you're going more for a longer term swing trade or swing plan rather than just this one, the options do open up where it goes now to 4x. And then you're looking in this area where it's going to be stuck. But then you start looking at 10 and it gets beyond that. Because this right here, this section of crust is all in insufficiency for the most part. There is a little supply hit there, probably hit its head. And then this would be the next one. In my opinion, if Bitcoin is bullish, Ethereum goes bullish, and they're rolling on out, and then going to be time for the altcoins to rotate into the altcoins, in my opinion, this asset should be targeting that supply zone up there. Okay. It'll go through resistance. This will be like a magnet at first for it. Boom. And then it'll swing. And this is going to be a massive magnet for this to go up there. Okay, in my opinion, for Crust Network. So that's how I'm looking at it, guys. I hope I explained that carefully. Go check out the website, do your own research, obviously, check into it. I think it's a little bit overlooked asset is what I'm thinking right now. And it's an opportune time. You think about this. This is an opportune time. Like you're eliminating so much risk with Crust Network right now because you didn't go into here, right? 14 November did do a massive run and it's already proven itself. So I said other assets that haven't proven themselves, kind of stay away from them, but it's gone up, back down into a wave. And what has this wave dropped? This wave right here has dropped 71%, which is pretty good for a, potentially if it is a nice little second wave that it did. And right in that zone on 786, it's kind of hanging out in between two fibs, which is fine as long as it gets near there. Doesn't have to exactly touch it, but near that 786, that zone, and there's a demand zone. So I don't know, guys, just putting that out there. Check into it and see what you think and what it comes up with. I know there's other coins with other opportunities that look maybe a little bit better. However, you're not going to know which one for sure is going to pump. There's just no way to know. That's why you want to keep your options open. And if you have any coins that don't perform, they become a loser and they don't do anything, or they just keep going, dropping or something like that, you get rid of them and you put them into your winners. Okay. You flip quick in cryptocurrency, get rid of those losers and put them into the winners. And, this is something like, hey, you may be in coins right now, and then maybe it's going to pump up a little bit, come back down. Maybe this is something where you have coins that went up, already got 2 or 3x, and maybe you can rotate into something like that as a strategy too. But sometimes that might not work. It might roll on out of there sooner than expected. So that's how I'm looking at it, guys. Gala is performing really well. I was gone over that on Twitter with you guys. GLQ looking okay. And, just pretty much waiting for Bitcoin. Here's Caspa Coin, guys. Caspa Coin gets past that into that area. Probably can sufficiently say that that correction is over. Okay. Target for that one is 7 cents, guys, for me. So, and that's probably going to be the end of a wave sequence if it gets up there, in my opinion. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then another massive correction. So even though the media will tell you it's going to continue to go up. So, all right. So do what you need to do. Take your profits out of there. I already went through videos, enter in here, made it specifically more than one, take your profits off the table and then, or whatever out and everything. And you should be doing fine with Caspa Coin, guys. So same thing with Quant. Enter in Quant, take it off the table. It's $45, $50. Take it off the table at $200. And you got all that for free. And it's amazing. Some people still didn't follow it. They didn't do it. They didn't do it, if you can believe it. They're freaking, it's almost like it's just astounding, guys. It's really, really astounding if you can believe it. Somebody actually tried to hold their hand and say, look, do it for free. So it's almost like, why you do it for free? You might as well just charge. Like, I'm thinking, why am I do this for free? You might as well just charge for it for somebody, because if you pay for it, you actually probably will do it. Free stuff, you don't do it. It seems like. So maybe that's the case. I don't know. We'll see how it goes. Anyhow, guys, sorry about my little rant there at the end. Yeah, check it out, guys. Crust Network. I'm definitely going to be checking out. There's some other ones too. Just giving you some heads up and things like that. And I think it's worth looking into with everything in the setup that's going on with Crust Network. So just realize too that, carefully strategize, because if Bitcoin does take off, or Ethereum, and it makes moves and the dominance goes up drastically, it will suck some liquidity from the alts. But some of the alts, you will have a few of them, let's say 5 or 10%, maybe not even that will go up. They will go up. It's just a matter, are you going to be in those? Or are you just going to be in the ones that may go down or be going sideways for a period of time? So, there's a few out there you could take a look at that would not be too hard to figure out, like, oh, I'm not going to touch that coin, as an example. Like, let's see here, Dash. Yeah, I wouldn't mess with Dash, guys. I'd like, this is the coin, 2018. It's been in a correction ever since. Can it pump a little bit? Yeah, it could pump a little bit. But the reality of it is, look, the people have spoken. It did its initial pump, and now it's been in this correction for a long time. So I would not buy that. I don't care what people say. I would not buy that. I don't care if there's some sort of fib target up here at $4,500. I wouldn't buy it, guys. So I don't like charts like that. I don't, even though it could be a good opportunity, that's just how it is with me, guys. I don't like that look right there. So if you made it all the way to the end, do me a huge favor, drop a like, hit the subscribe button. Peace.